Alright guys, I know a lot of you are curious about my review of the rest of the SummerSlam match card. I already did a review and the file corrupted, so I was kind of like on trying to record another one, but don't worry, I got y'all. This is my thoughts on the rest of the show. We're going to go down the card in the order in which these matches come. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, just my brief thoughts on the match. Let's get into it. Logan Paul versus Ricochet kicked off the show, and basically the entire branding of this match was viral moments. There's going to be a viral moment in this match. This match is going to go viral. Everybody's going to be talking about it. I have yet to see where the viral moments in this match was. Yes, there was a lot of really cool spots. Ricochet did a bunch of flips. Logan Paul had a lot of counteracts. He was really the shining star of the match because obviously Logan Paul is not as experienced and he is still the best athlete, not the best, one of the best athletes in the world of professional wrestling today. There were a couple other viral moments on this show and none of them were in this match. That doesn't take away from the match being very good though. This, I thought, was a very enjoyable, very captivating, and a nice opener to SummerSlam that I would give 4 stars. Logan Paul got the W, and that's all that matters. This man's been losing every single match he's been in for the last year and a half, so he needed this. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar followed this match, and I enjoyed this way more than I thought I was going to. They've had 2 matches in the past, like basically the whole summer, and I thought those matches all were pretty lackluster. So going into this one, my expectations were very low. However, I thought they came through. I really enjoyed the story element of Brock Lesnar coming at Cody Rhodes with German suplexes and tossing him around and hitting F5s, throwing him outside the ring, and basically daring Cody Rhodes to get back into the ring and take more. Every single time Cody Rhodes would get back into the ring at the 9 count, the crowd got more and more and more invested into the match. It was a match storytelling element that is not done very often, but given the talent involved, they made it work. And it made the prevail that Cody Rhodes had after hitting 3 crossroads on the Brock Lesnar. It made it so much more sweeter. I thought this match was generally one of the best matches on the entire card. I would give it 4.25 out of 5 stars. I'm very curious to see what's next for Cody Rhodes. I know Brock Lesnar is going away for a while. He does this like every year where he has his few matches and then he goes away for the rest of the year. We're not going to see him until Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania season next year. But for Cody Rhodes, curious to see what the next move is. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. The SummerSlam Battle Royal was the bathroom break match for me. As soon as LA Knight's theme song hit, I went to the bathroom. By the time I came back, there were 4 people left in the ring, and then the last 2 were LA Knight and Sheamus. At that point in time, I'm like, there's really no way they're gonna have Sheamus win the Battle Royal. LA Knight prevailed, and that was, honestly, it was like one of the peak moments of the night, bro. I was very, very on the fence about LA Knight when the push first started because I will admit I was not a huge LA Knight fan. Actually, I was really never an LA Knight fan. But recently, you know, seeing the crowd reaction, seeing the ovation he gets, it's gotten me more and more into him. And, you know, I could start to see why fans like him, why they gravitate towards him. I think he's a very compelling character. Him winning this Battle Royal was the right move. I can't really rate the match because I didn't really watch it. But like I said, him winning, big W. A match that was not a W was Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey. An MMA rules match didn't work. And I think here's the reason why this match flopped so hard. One of the biggest reasons why this match flopped is because by this point in time, Ronda Rousey is so disliked by fans that it's hard for really any match that she's in to be hooked onto by WWE fans. Because Shayna Baszler is not seen as like a huge star, you have another UFC fighter who is really good at what she does, but fans aren't really that into her, versus another UFC star that fans are completely against in a match that fans really are not asking for. Like, don't get it twisted. We know they're UFC fighters. We know what they're capable of, but you have to know your audience. You're at WWE. They paid to see wrestling. They didn't pay to see an MMA rules match. If you're going to do an MMA rules match, you have to 100% commit to it. And I think one of the biggest issues is that they didn't commit to the actual facet of it being an MMA rules match. I didn't expect them to go in here and start knocking each other's teeth out and breaking each other's lips. I wasn't expecting that, and I didn't want that. What was delivered to us was a worked UFC match with heavy elements of wrestling. Yeah, there were strikes, there were submissions, it had that feel to it, but then they dragged it out. Like, if you would have ended this match, capped it at 2.5 minutes of just strikes and submissions, and then Ronda Rousey goes to sleep, I think people wouldn't have even complained about this match. People would have been fine, but I don't think it would have been 5 stars, it would have been Ranting and Raven or whatever, but people would have been generally fine. But this match went 7 minutes. What MMA bout goes that long without breaks? Unless you're stalling, and that's what we did. There was a lot of rest holds. There was a lot of body slams that you don't see in MMA. It's like, they tried too hard in this match. Had a formula that they did not fully commit to, and that's the biggest reason why fans didn't like this match. And there were boring chants. I know people were, oh, were they chanting? Yes, they were. I was there. They chanted boring. This match gets a 1.75 stars from me. They tried. It's sad. This might be Ronda Rousey's last match in WWE ever. It's sad she goes out on that note. But again, they should have fully committed or just not have done MMA rules at all. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship was a really good match. I do think expectations for this match were a lot higher than it actually ended up being. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I thought it was generally a hard-hitting affair. I got to speak to Drew McIntyre briefly after the show. I won't disclose everything he said because it was in a private setting. But, he was giving his 2 cents on how he thought the match turned out. And I was like, yeah, I could see that. A lot of people had higher expectations for the match. I don't think it was truly met, but it was still like a good match. So I'm going to give it 3.75 out of 5 stars. I don't think it was 4 stars good, but it was definitely 3.75, which people tend to think is bad, but no. If you're anywhere above 3.5, it's considered good. So yeah, 3.75 out of 5 stars. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship, honestly, in my opinion, may have been match of the night. It started off a bit slow, but there were so many near falls toward the end. They really wanted you to buy into the idea that Finn Balor will walk out of this the World Heavyweight Champion. And then with the looming aspect of Damian Priest being the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, he came out in the match teasing cash-in, which was honestly so annoying because he never did, and he teased it 3 different times during this match, and it almost took away from the match at one point. It ended up being the downfall of Finn Balor, who fell to a curb stomp onto the briefcase and got pinned. I think at this point, y'all should just chalk Finn Balor. I don't know if y'all want to release him. I don't know if y'all just want to... I don't know what they're doing with Finn Balor at this point. Every big feud this guy goes into, he loses. I can't think of a single big feud he's been in the last 3 years that he's actually won. Especially in the last year when he had that feud with Edge that stretched basically from last fall into WrestleMania. He lost that feud. And then he went straight into this feud and he lost that feud too. I think I just saw an article recently online like, oh, WWE considers the leaders to be everybody but Dominic Mysterio. No, bro, the leaders are everybody but Finn Balor. Dominic's North America champion. Rhea's the Women's World Heavyweight champion who was on the show, but as a cameo, really. And Damian Priest is the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. What the fuck does Finn Balor got going on for him? Nothing. He is a loser. He is holding the faction back. They need to get rid of him or he needs to leave or stop. I don't know what he needs to do, but being in this faction does nothing for him. Nothing's happening for him. I hope there's a character change very soon. This match also gets 4.25 out of 5 stars. Really good stuff. Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair was a good match. I felt like at times it was a bit discombobulated as far as triple threats goes. There were some nice triple threat trio sequences, but in comparison to other multi-man matches I've seen, there was some odd energy where at times it felt like they didn't quite know what to do. At times where there should be one-on-one sequences, they just felt kind of awkward. Bianca Belair did a fake out injury spot, which people bought into. I honestly was like, yo, they're focusing on her way too much for this to be a real injury. And then she came back and she won, which was shocking. I thought Asuka was going to retain, but then right after Io Sky comes out, she cashes in and she wins the women's championship, which was one of the best moments of the entire night. Honestly, that might have been peak SummerSlam for me. I'll give this match 3.5 out of 5 stars because like I said, I think it was good at best, but I don't think it's anything special. If you're looking for my long form review of Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, click on the comment somewhere here. You'll see it, or in the very beginning of the video, click on a comment, but I already reviewed this match. That's my review of SummerSlam. Let me know what you guys think down below.